Okay, so hello, greetings everyone, greetings. June Allen here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me on the planet. My name is June Allen. I am a racial trauma therapist. I'm a business coach. I am a soon-to-be author. I'm a retreat facilitator. And I am the founder of the Art of Greatness at juneallen.net. Hello, thanks for joining. So today I want to talk to you about or ask you, will you be abandoning yourself at Christmas this year? Okay. Will you be abandoning yourself at Christmas this year? I work with, well, all of my clients tend to struggle at some level at this time of year. Maybe they're overwhelmed because they're caring for other people, or maybe you're overwhelmed because they're caring for other people, because you're caring for other people. Maybe you're a parent, so you don't always feel like you get a break. Yeah, maybe there's lots of expectations from other family members and friends to be able to spend this sort of money or do this or do that. And so we end up getting caught up in the cyclone of what it means to be, engaging in the festive spirit, or whatever you call it. And you tend to lose yourself in all of it. So I really, every year I come on this platform, and I share different tools and ways to empower yourself so that you don't abandon your needs at Christmas, because it's so easy to fall into the trap, to fall on the hamster, get into the hamster wheel of shopping, and getting sucked into everybody else's expectations, and you lose yourself. And you end up resentful, and you end up skint, and you end up all of these things that you promised yourself that you weren't going to do. But because you're not actually being intentional about your self-care at Christmas, it's very easy to get sucked into everything. So today I want to really share with you and talk about what it means to abandon yourself. We're going to start there. What does self-abandonment at Christmas actually mean? Okay, but before I get into that, I'm going to share a little bit of housekeeping. So if there's anything that I say on this live stream that doesn't make sense, or you want more information, please feel free to drop a note in the comments, and ask questions. If you don't feel comfortable, sharing live, or sharing on the comment below so that everyone can see it, you can drop me an email, you can drop me a DM, you can email me info@artofgreatness.com. The other bit of housekeeping that I want to share is that tomorrow, I've got an online membership for Black women. It's called the Sacred Sister Sanctuary, and we are doing our monthly class tomorrow, which is all about unity and sisterhood. Now, if you look at the two live streams that I've done prior to this one, I do go into a bit more detail, and I give you a bit of a sneak peek into what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So if you're interested in joining me for that, you can click the link in my bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. The second event that I've got coming up is this Saturday, and it is the Heal and Chill session, the Kwanzaa edition. And it's a half-day retreat, and we're going to be putting a care plan actually together for you. We're going to be exploring your relationship with the festive season, and then we're going to be you'll have an opportunity to create a plan for what you want to do over the Christmas period, and we'll explore, some of those difficult conversations that sometimes we find it hard to have about the Christmas period, and especially if you've got a challenging relationship with family members and stuff like that. Those conversations are quite hard, and sometimes people can be quite judgmental. Oh, let it go. Oh, you need to forgive that person. And for you, it's not always as simple as that. Okay, so if you have a challenging relationship with this time of year, if you feel lonely, if you have a challenging relationship with family, and you really want to be able to plan something, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, it might be that you don't celebrate Christmas and you just want to chill. Okay, you can still come to the session, because what we'll do is we're going to put a plan in place for you to be able to really embrace and surrender to what you need from this season. Okay, so it's from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. Okay, on Saturday. It's in Brixton. Okay, so so there's going to be two sessions. The first session is we're going to do the plan, and then in the afternoon we're going to keep it balanced, and we're going to do a bit more play. Okay, so there'll be lots of retro games. So if you like things like Connect Four, if you want to play Jacks, if you want to do I think I've even got a Wakanda Monopoly. The session that I'm going to do on Thursday is I'm going to be showing you all the games and stuff that I've bought in, so that you can see what we're going to be doing and stuff like that. So Yeah, so join me on Thursday for that one. So yeah, if you want to play jacks, if you want to, if your inner child wants to hang out and play Barbies, maybe you want to do some coloring some affirmations and stuff like that. We're going to be doing all of these things on Saturday. So if you really, you're looking for a place just to come and have fun, to do some planning about what you want to do, to make sure that your self-care is part of the conversation. Um, then join me on Saturday. Again, you can click the link in my bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. Okay, any questions, just let me know. Drop it in the comments or email me if you don't feel comfortable. All right, so that's the housekeeping. So let's get back to the content. So for those of you that have just joined, my name is June Allen. I'm the founder of The Art of Greatness at juneallen.net. I'm a therapist, and I predominantly work with black women, and I empower them to to embrace self-love, sisterhood, sobriety, and softness. Okay, self-love, sisterhood, sobriety, and softness. Right, so let's get into today's content. So today's content, I'm talking about, well, I'm asking you, will you abandon yourself this Christmas? Okay, are you going to abandon yourself at Christmas? So I've got seven different things I'm going to share with you about what self-abandonment looks like. So first, let's define it, okay? So self-abandonment is when you literally get overwhelmed by external pressures, or it could be internal stuff as well, internal struggles or external struggles, and you end up neglecting yourself. Okay, you neglect yourself, you deny your own needs and all stuff like that. So let's talk about how it can show up at Christmas time, and specifically considering that we're talking about the holidays and stuff like that. So basically, you overextend yourself. Okay, you end up saying yes to everybody because you don't want to disappoint people. You don't want people to think that you're stingy. You don't want you don't want people to think that you're boring or whatever. So you end up saying yes to everything, and you end up mash up and tired, overextending yourself. Okay, trying to please other people, and you would just end up burnt out. Okay, overextending yourself. It's not. It's only going to. You just end up resentful. You're just going to end up resentful. How many times have you been in that situation, particularly at Christmas time, when you end up thinking, oh, maybe you say yes to everything because you got this fear of missing out. You got a fear of missing out, only to recognize that you said yes to too many things. You feel like you can't back out, and then you end up resentful. You end up not enjoying anything because you're so tired and so burnt out, and you end up not enjoying anything. You end up not really, yeah, you end up not enjoying it because you ended up overextending yourself, doing too much, saying yes to everybody. Okay, so if you want to feel burnt out and stuff at Christmas, then be mindful that you need to really look at where you're overextending yourself. Oh, hang on a minute. I don't know why my Instagram's gone a bit strange. Okay, yes, you don't want to overextend yourself. All right. So the next one, number 2, is ignoring your emotional needs. Okay, ignoring your emotional needs. Now, if you've got challenging family members, if there's always somebody that creates drama, if there's somebody that you've fallen out with, if you come from a family that was abusive or neglectful or whatever, and that you go into this space and you feel like you're just going to be, you're expected to be invisible and keep your mouth shut. Okay, that's what it means to ignore your emotional needs, and this is something that you really need to think about. Okay, this is something that you really, really need to think about, because I think that people have a lot of fantasies about what this time of year should look like. It's difficult when you're looking at the TV and you're looking on social media, and everybody's got this. There's this cyclone of fantasy. What they tell people that what this time of year should look like. You're supposed to have a massive tree. You're supposed to be getting the fantasies, getting loads of presents wrapped, and having everything. Buying the whole of the supermarket out so that you can feed everybody. And you're supposed to do all of that yourself. As the mum, you're supposed to do all of that yourself with no help, and you're supposed to be smiling and doing all of that. Meanwhile, you don't get to ignore anything because you're so tired, and you're emotionally exhausted from having to keep your mouth shut from family members that are disrespectful. You don't see a lot of the people there throughout the whole of the year. So when you come together at this time of year, it triggers a lot of the old stuff that happened. Maybe there's stuff that was unresolved from last year that never got done, that never got sorted out. And you're supposed to just show up at these events over the Christmas period and smile and skin your teeth, and you don't want to skin your teeth. And I'm here to remind you that actually you don't have to. Okay? You don't have to show up and skin your teeth and sit down with people that have not been kind to you throughout the year. Family members or not, you don't have to. Okay? And it's about time you give yourself permission to let go of that. Okay? It's okay to let go of those fantasies and actually create some realistic opportunities for yourself to do Christmas the way that you want to do it. Just because you've always done it a certain way in the past, or you've always gone to so and so's house in the past, it doesn't mean that you have to do it now. Because, you know, if you think about how you've changed over the year, maybe you've grown over the year. Maybe it's just like you don't want to be sitting down and doing and you know, sit there with this mask on, pretending that you like these people when actually you don't like their behavior. Don't mean you don't love them. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you don't love them. You can love someone and not like them. Yeah, you can love someone and not like them. But if sitting down and breaking bread with these people at Christmas time means that you have to abandon yourself, that you have to abandon how you feel, that you have to abandon your experience, you know, the fact that they've been disrespectful throughout the rest of the year, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut with all of that. That is you abandoning yourself. That is you suppressing your feelings. Okay? That is creating a situation where you might end up just feeling lonely in that space because you're not being heard and you're not being seen. Is that what you want for this time of year? Is that what you want for your festive season? Is that what you want for this time of year when you're supposed to be connected with people that care about you? So think about those things, and I'm not saying that you have to kind of say no in a way that's disrespectful or mean or anything like that. You know, there are boundaries that you can still have in place, and you can say it in a way that still honors the fact that they invited you, but you've just got other plans. Something else I forgot to mention in the housekeeping as well is that I've just created and published a Sacred Sister Holiday Wellness digital magazine. Okay, it's absolutely free for you to download it. You can see it on my, if you click the link in my bio, it will actually take you to my Linktree. It'll take you to my website, but it'll take you to like a Linktree style page. And there's a link there where you can just click on it, and it will take you to another page where you can sign up. Just put your email address in, and it will deliver the digital magazine. And there's a whole page in there about, you know, how to set boundaries over the holiday period. I will actually probably do a live stream on it as well. But yeah, there's a whole page on different ways that you can say how to say no to invitations as well. And it asks you to think about, okay, well, what do your boundaries look like over the holidays? There's a whole load of stuff in that magazine. It's worth getting. It's all specifically around, around how to stay well, how to do holiday self-care, basically. All right. So think about that. Think about how you're going to care for yourself over the holidays in a way that's loving to you first and foremost, and less about what other people want. What is going to work for you in that instance? Okay. So the third one is neglecting self-care. Okay, so that means that we're not actually taking care of our we're not taking care of ourselves. Okay, we're not doing our self-care practices anymore. They've kind of gone out of the window with Christmas. What we said we've been doing over the year, we've been really great looking after ourselves, and now Christmas is here, and everybody wants us to do this and that. Our self-care's gone out the window. Yeah, our self-care's gone out the window. Oh, you're welcome, Free Spirit Z. Yeah, let me know what you think. And let me know what you think when you download it. But there's loads of stuff in there. Yeah, we neglect our self-care. We don't sleep properly. We end up going out all the time and, you know, staying up all hours. We all of the self-care that we've done throughout the year to really nourish ourselves, it just goes out of the window over the Christmas period. Why is that? Ask yourself that question. Why is it that you take care of yourself throughout the whole of the year, and then when it comes to the Christmas period, you know, you end up sabotaging your self-care? And you don't have to. You don't have to. You know, this is a great time of year for you to reflect on, actually, you know, how have I taken care of myself over the last 12 months? What's actually really worked for me? If you go into another thing that's really good in the magazine actually is there's a page on, I think there's about 25 questions, and it shows you how to review your year of wellness. Yeah, so there's 25 questions. Obviously you don't have to answer all of them, but you can just pick some out at random and do some journaling on them. How have you taken care of yourself over the last 12 months? What has actually worked for you? What are the types of things that have drained your energy? Who are the people, places or things that have drained your energy? And what are you going to do about it? And that includes how you're going to manage, how you're going to take care of yourself over the holiday period. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, how are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to use the time? Okay, what are you going to do actually on Christmas Day, Boxing Day? Who will you go and visit? You know, if you're going to travel, how can you do it in a way that feels nourishing? You know, are you going to be taking on too much? How can you delegate maybe some of the work if you are cooking or whatever, you've got family members? How can you delegate some of the work? How can you do it in a way where you feel like you are actually included in all of that? Okay, these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about and exploring in the Heal and Chill session on Saturday, the half day retreat. You're going to have an opportunity to really ask yourself these questions and discuss it in the healing circle, yeah, in the sister circle, and then you can really start to think about your boundaries, about what would that look like for you? What would Christmas look like for you if you put your self-care first? Ask yourself that question. Yeah, what would your holiday season look like if you prioritized your self-care first and foremost? I think sometimes we can get so wrapped up in being worried about what the other person is going to think, what that family member is going to think, what your parents are going to think, what your siblings are going to think. If you choose to do something different to what their expectation is, and we kind of worry about that because you've always done it that way, or it's a tradition or what, and you feel like you can't really make a choice for yourself because you're just used to always doing it that way. And if you try and change it, or if you try and do something for you, then oh well, you're making things difficult and da da da, all this. You are allowed to make a change. You are allowed to make a different choice for yourself if that is important for your well-being. Yeah, if it's important for your well-being. I'm having these types of conversations with my clients now because it can create a lot of anxiety, and it can actually traumatize. My clients can be traumatized by it if they don't have these conversations and they allow themselves to get sucked back into the vortex of the toxic family. Yeah, so I make a point of having these conversations early on in December so people can really start to feel empowered and they have agency over the choices that they're going to make in the over the family over the festive period. Yeah, and not allow themselves to be dictated to, about what they should or shouldn't be doing. Too much shouldn't going on, and people need to make their own decisions about, actually, it's not about what I should do, but what's actually right for my well-being. What's actually right for my peace of mind? What's actually going to make me feel calm? What is good for my nervous system? Where am I going to feel comfortable? Where am I going to feel wanted and loved? I think it was Nina Simone that said we've got to learn how to get up from the table when love is not being served. Yeah, let me say that again. Nina Simone's quote says we've got to learn how to get up from the table when love is not being served. Okay, if love and kindness and compassion and tenderness is not on the menu, okay, wherever you're choosing to go and eat, you don't have to eat there. Okay, if love, kindness, compassion, respect, if those type of things are not on the menu because certain people are going to be showing up at the Christmas dinner that you're not comfortable with, you don't have to eat there. You don't have to eat there. Okay, this is the next one. The next one is pleasing others at your own expense. You do not have to please other people, okay, at the expense of abandoning yourself. You don't have to abandon yourself. Okay, and here's the thing as well. Remember that you are no longer a child. You're an adult. You're a big woman, and you're allowed to make your own choices. One of the things that I recognized that can happen actually around the festive period is that when you go back into situations like Christmas and stuff like that, when you go back home to see your parents or whatever, you can find yourself slipping back into those childhood or childlike dynamics, because your parents don't always see you as an adult. Your parents can continue to treat you like a child because they don't want to see you as an adult. Because if they recognize and honor that you're an adult, then they're going to have to change their behavior. They're going to have to change their behavior. But one of the things that a lot of families do, which makes it very difficult for people to go back home and stuff like that, is that they want you to stay in that childlike role. They don't want you to go there as an adult, because if you go there as an adult, you're going to be having different conversations. Not that you're going to be cussing people out or being mean or being rude or anything like that, but you have to, if you're an adult, then you can make adult choices. You can be clear about what you will and will not tolerate. Okay, you can be clear about your boundaries. You can be clear about what time you leave, and you're less likely to be manipulated by the people in your family or the people that are going to be at this event. Okay, that want you to behave, that expect you to abandon yourself to please them. Okay, so think about that when you're making these choices. Okay, about who you're going to be spending your Christmas with. Are you making that decision from your childlike self, from your frightened childlike self, or are you making that decision from your adult self? Okay, this is really important. Are you making that choice from your childlike self? Okay, the child self that they want you to be when you're there, or are you making the decision from your adult self? What would your adult self choose to do? Okay, ask yourself that question. What would your adult self choose to do in that situation? In whatever choices you're going to make over the festive period, what would your adult self want to do? And what does your child self want to do? And which one is going to nourish you? Is it going to nourish you? Is it going to be compassionate? Okay? All of these questions are really, really important, so that you don't abandon yourself, so that you don't, go into this people pleasing thing to appease other people, and you end up abandoning yourself. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is isolating yourself. Okay, so this is the complete opposite. Sometimes we can go into that people pleasing mode. Oh, I'm going to go and see everybody. I'm going to go and see everybody. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to say yes to everything because I don't want to miss out. I don't want people to think that I'm boring or whatever. Or you can be the absolute opposite, where you end up withdrawing completely. And sometimes, just from the conversations that I've had with some of my clients, sometimes the withdrawal and the isolation happens. Sometimes if the person is estranged from family. Hi Marie, thanks for joining. If the person is estranged from family, and they feel a lot of shame about being on their own, even though their family members, there's legitimate reasons for them not wanting to spend time with family members or set boundaries around family members, they still end up feeling isolated, ashamed, lonely, because they end up having a Christmas on their own. They're isolated. Yeah, that's also a form of self-abandonment, because you also deserve to be in connection. Okay, you also deserve to be with others. This is where I have conversations with my clients, and that's something that I've been doing for years. Is you end up spending, you spend time with chosen family. Choose your family. Chosen family is not just people by blood. It's not just people that you grew up with. You can choose your family. Okay, so find start building. If you don't have one, put that on your New Year's list. Okay, for next year, is to start nurturing, building, finding a chosen family, so that when it comes to things like Christmas time or your birthday, or you need a community. You need community. Belonging is a basic fundamental need of being human. Is belonging somewhere. Okay, but it doesn't have to be with the family that you were born into. It doesn't have to be the family that you were born into. For whatever reason, sometimes it's not always safe to be with those people. Sometimes the family members that are there, they don't respect you. They don't respect you. They just want you there to be the scapegoat, to be the punch bag, to be the person that they take the piss out of. you know, to make comments about your weight, your hair, your this, your that, your job. These are the ones that you know, they want you to come so that they've got someone to throw their shit at. Today you can, this year you can tell them, I'm not the one this year. You're not the one this year. Be clear with yourself. Be clear with yourself about what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. You don't have to tolerate anything if you don't want to. Okay? You don't have to tolerate anything if you don't want to. You know, I've spent a few Christmases I've spent on my own actually, where I literally just, you know, make sure that I've got nice food, and make sure I've got like that I'm toasty and I've got my Netflix and whatever. I've had some really nice Christmases on my own by choice, because in those moments I just needed to rest. I wanted to sleep. I wanted to be in solitude, and that's not me hiding. Obviously, I talked earlier about isolating myself. That wasn't me isolating myself. That was me nourishing myself, because I actually it was a choice that I made. And people had asked me, you know, do you want to come and do this? And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to chill this year. And there's been some really really nice Christmases when I've done that. You know, I've had some really good Christmases as well with friends. You know, over the years of being in recovery and being in therapy and stuff like that, I've made some really great friends that have actually become like family to me, and I've had some great Christmases with them as well. And we do this stuff that everybody else does. We get together, we cook food, we watch movies, we do all, and I'll be doing the same this year. I'll be doing the same this year. I think what's really important about this conversation is I want to empower you, okay? I really want to empower you to think outside the box about what it means to have a good Christmas, or to have a good festive season, or to have a good seasonal time. Maybe you don't celebrate Christmas or whatever it is. Give yourself permission to think outside the box. You don't have to do all the traditional rituals that everybody else does. Okay, I don't do all of the rituals that everyone else does. I choose how I'm going to celebrate it. I choose how I'm going to celebrate it. I'm more of a Kwanzaa girl than I am Christmas. I don't really do Christmas. I put a tree up because my inner child likes putting the tree up, and I love watching, you know, some of the movies. I love watching, you know, It's a Wonderful Life. I love watching, what's the other one? Jingle Jangle, the new one with the little black girl. I love that movie so much. My inner child loves it. You know, I love watching The Wizard of Oz, and you know, all that, Jason and the Argonauts, and all them films that come up at Christmas time. It reminds me of my childhood. My brothers and stuff used to love watching that. You know, so I tend to go back. You know, I like the nostalgia of it, some of it. But it's about, you just got to choose. Give yourself permission to choose what you want to do. You know, and this is what we'll be doing on Saturday. Okay, this is what we'll be doing at Saturday at the Heal and Chill session, the Kwanzaa inspired Heal and Chill session. You get the opportunity to think outside the box and ask yourself the question: is what I'm doing every year, is it really what I want to do? Or is it because what everyone else is telling me to do that you're doing that? Does it actually really work for you? And ultimately, you need to ask yourself, how do you feel at the end of the holiday season? Do you feel mash up? Do you feel like you've got a huge emotional hangover? Do you feel tired? Do you feel sad? You know, from spending the holidays with people that you know deep down don't really care about you, but you've had to put a mask and put on a face just so that you can say that you didn't spend it on your own. You know, are you getting caught up in all of the fantasy about what everybody says Christmas should be, rather than you making choices about actually what works for you? Okay, how would your Christmas be? How would your time be if you put your self-care first? What would it look like? What would it feel like if you put yourself first? That's a whole different conversation when you think about it like that. That's a whole different conversation, you know. But it's really about thinking about actually what do you need? That's the crux of it. What do you actually need at this time of year? And it might not be going out getting, you know, pissed or whatever is with people. Maybe you don't want to do all of that. Maybe you don't want to go to the Christmas party. You don't want to go to the works Christmas party. When I used to work at corporate, I used to work in I've worked in so many different corporate companies over the years, and you know, before I kind of set up, left the corporate companies and started working for myself, for the last few years, I made a decision. I won't go to no works Christmas party. I weren't going to go to no works Christmas party because every time I went, I thought, oh, maybe I'll just go and be sociable. Every time I went to a works Christmas party, something happened. And it was always around alcohol. Somebody got pissed and thought it was okay to come and try and come on to me. Some foolish idiot trying to come on to me because they've had a few drinks and they try it on. Yeah? Or somebody's too pissed and they start being rude to me about something. Something always happens when I go to these Christmas parties. People that it's almost like people's what they've been thinking or whatever, it comes out when they've had a few drinks and they think it's okay to go and touch somebody up or do whatever. So I made a decision. I'm not going to no more of these Christmas parties because I don't like being around people that are pissed. Because it makes me anxious because I feel like they're going to do something or say something. And my experience for the last few Christmas parties that I did go to were not, were not healthy. Were not healthy, and I end up leaving them feeling pissed, and not pissed drunk, but pissed as in upset and annoyed, angry, because these people can't control themselves when they've had a drink. And I just. For me personally, like I just don't like being around people that have had lots to drink. That I just don't. I just didn't like it. Particularly in the work setting. So I made that decision. So whenever when people used to ask me, "Oh, you should come to the work party or whatever," I'd be like, "No, I'm not going." Simple. End of conversation. I'm not going. That's my boundary. I was no longer going to abandon myself just to please other people or because I think maybe there's some fear of missing out or whatever. I don't want to go because I don't like being around people that mash up on alcohol. That's just me. And it's okay for you to make those decisions as well. It's okay for you to make those decisions as well if you don't want to be around people that are going to be mash up and start being disrespectful. Okay, because people then will make excuses. Oh, they're just pissed or whatever. Oh, don't worry about it. Like I don't care I don't care if they mean it or not. I don't care if they're drunk or not. It's no excuse, and I don't want to be around it. Okay, so whether people are drinking or whether people are being rude or people think at Christmas time they can say this, that, and the other to you, you can make a decision that you're not going to put up with it, and you don't have to be around those people. You don't have to be around those people. Give yourself permission to be clear about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Okay? Do not abandon yourself this Christmas. Okay? Don't abandon yourself this Christmas because of what other people think you should or shouldn't be doing. All right? So the sixth way that we abandon ourselves at this time of year is perfectionism. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the fantasy. We fantasize about what we think we should be doing this at Christmas time. We the fantasies it plays out in the adverts and all the rest of it. About what we should or shouldn't be doing. And so we think that I need to be doing this because it's what people do. And I need to do it. I need to have the 25 different types of cake, and I need to have the 56 types of meat, and I need to have 12 different types of wine. And at the end of the day, is this really stressing you out more than you need to be stressed? Are you taking on all of these things? This is where the internal struggles are coming in now. This is not an external thing as well. This is more of an internal thing. You've internalized what is external, and you're putting that pressure on yourself that you need to have this, that, and the other, and you're creating unrealistic expectations for yourself about what needs to be done, who you're going to be around. And you start to fantasize about other people's behavior as well. You start thinking, oh, maybe this time Uncle so-and-so won't be rude. Maybe this time Auntie blah blah won't say anything won't be rude about my weight. Maybe this time, my mum won't say anything rude about my natural hair or whatever it is. I hear all these things in my practice all the time about family members who are rude and think it's okay to make rude comments about people's bodies. And because it's family members or whatever, they think it's okay to do it. No, it's rude. It's rude. As soon as you come through the door, before they even say hello, they say that you put on weight. Yeah? You come through the door and say hello, the first thing they say is not hello, how are you? Is you, oh, you put on weight. That's not a greeting. Okay? So it's for you to really be clear about where you want to spend your time. Spend your time where you're going to be nourished. Spend your time where you're going to be respected. Spend your time where you're going to laugh a lot. Spend your time where you're going to get cuddles and hugs and you're going to feel loved. Not just people that say it. You want somebody. You want to be in spaces where you actually feel it, where you actually feel like you can embody it, and you feel comfortable to be yourself. If you're not comfortable don't feel comfortable to be yourself, then you need to ask yourself, why are you there? If you're not comfortable being yourself, you need to ask yourself, why are you there? Because you deserve more. You deserve more. This time of year is about community, whether it's family of choice, or whatever it is. You know. So Marie's laughing. What she says. Or I get told, what a way you look thin. I used to get told that one as well. What a way you're mager. That's what they used to say to me, how me mager. Yeah, that's just as offensive. You know, people think it's okay if you're slim, that it's okay to make a comment if you're slim as well. What a way you mager, Mum, they used to say to me all the time as well. It's not acceptable for people to making comments about you about your weight and all the rest of it. And they need to be told. Then people need to be told these things. You know, people do need to be told these things. But yeah, so you know, the whole perfectionism thing and what you've internalized and what other people say is really important thing to think about. The perfectionism. And the last one, okay, is ignoring your own boundaries, which is kind of what I've been saying throughout the whole live stream. Okay, ultimately you end up you know, either you don't have any boundaries at all, you know, or you have got them and you just ignore them. You just think, oh, you know, it will be different this year. You're in that fantasy, you're in that sort of thing. Oh, it will be different this year. It will be all right. I'll be able to handle it. You know, and it's just, it's not on. Yes, Marie, it's 100%. It's body shaming. It's body shaming. It's not on. And people excuse family members and stuff that say all this stuff because it's family. But it doesn't mean it's accepted because you're family. It doesn't mean that people can body shame you. No. But I think it's also about, you know, we've also got to take a stand. And like I was saying earlier in the live stream about how we can, when we end up being around family members, we end up, you know, the fact that the parent-child dynamic starts playing out. So you feel like you're not really an adult. When you're with family members, that you're not really an adult. You have to kind of slip back into this childlike position where you're not allowed to really speak up for yourself. You're not allowed to advocate for yourself. You're not allowed to say when something is not working for you. You're just expected to keep your mouth shut and you know, slip back into the role, the parent-child dynamic, where the parent can do what they want, say what they want, be who they want, and the children, regardless of whether they're big people or not, have to basically do as the parent says. You know, so maybe something that you can actually do when you're in these situations is use it as a benchmark to kind of feel out and see, where am I in this dynamic? You know, am I really feeling like a child? Am I really am I really respected? So use it as an opportunity to observe what's happening in the dynamic. I do that sometimes as well, actually. If I'm in an environment where I just think, I don't know, I don't really want to be here, you know, and I start, especially if it's family members, and not that I've been, you know, I haven't been to any family events for years because my boundaries are very clear about stuff like that. However, you know, it's if you, even if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about spending time with family members and you're on the fence about whether you should go or not, just go inward. Just go inward and go, do you know what do I really, honestly, how do I really feel about it? Am I allowed to be my adult self in this situation? Or am I only allowed to be a child that they can manipulate and take the piss out of and body shame? Am I only allowed to be that version of myself because it's comfortable for them? Or am I allowed to turn up at the gathering as my adult self, and they will respect my boundary, and they're not going to be rude or body shame and all the rest of it? And are they going? Will they be respectful if I say, please don't body shame? We'll talk about my hair. We'll talk about whatever. Are they going to be respectful? Ask yourself those questions honestly before, during, and if you do decide to, if you decide to go, then it's something that you need to think about. But think about it in the planning stages. While you're thinking about now, while people are starting to, give out their invitations, or yeah, come over here and do this. Oh yeah, come over there and do that. Let's meet up and do this. Let's sit down and have a chat. Do you want to do the turkey? Do you want to do? Have that conversation. Don't just talk. Don't just think about the practical parts of it. Think about how you are going to feel. How do you want to feel? Think back to what happened last year. Don't have amnesia about what happened last year. What happened last year? Did you feel comfortable? Did you feel loved? Did you feel safe? Did you feel held? Did you feel like you belonged? Did you feel like you were supported? Did you feel nurtured? Did you feel respected? If a lot of those questions is a no, then you need to ask yourself, why am I going this year, and what can I do differently? What can Christmas look like for me this year? Do you need to have a conversation with certain family members before, if you decide to go? Do you need to have a conversation with them before you go, so that they're clear about what you expect from them in those in certain situations? This is all what self-care is about. This is how you learn not to abandon yourself at Christmas. Okay? Everything that I've shared today, these 7 things that I've shared, are all the different ways that we can abandon ourselves at Christmas. And you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm sharing this with you because I want you to feel empowered about the choices that you make at this time of year, because it's an important time of year for community and belonging and feeling seen and feeling loved and feeling heard. So find space, find a community that is going to make you feel like that. If you don't have anyone, start thinking about how you can start to build that going forward into the new year. If you're in London, you can come down to the event next Sunday. It's not next Sunday, sorry, next Saturday in the morning. Yeah, the Heal and Chill session. You can come and hang out with us. We can have the conversation. We can plan your self-care. And then in the afternoon, we're doing games. We're doing retro games. Yeah? So if anybody that's watching this, if you're interested in joining me either tomorrow for the Sacred Sister Sanctuary session on unity and sisterhood, or this Saturday for the Heal and Chill in-person half-day event, click the link in my bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you found this session useful. Again, if you've got any questions, please drop your comments in the drop your thoughts in the comments. Or if you've got something that you want to share with me, you don't want to post publicly, you can send me a direct message, or you can email me info@yardofgreatness.com. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you joining me for today's session, and I will see you next time. All right. Take care of yourself. Bye.